Good morning. So welcome to this week's video of two homeless men playing with a Land Rover. So what we're doing now, the big jobs are in, so now it's all the fine bits, all putting the little bits and pieces on, like we're just doing the fuel filter now in an obscure location, because obviously nothing's where it should be with having the wrong engine in this vehicle. Little odds and sods. We've got the power steering pump that seems to be too small, so there may be a bracket that we need to get for that or make for that. And then the next task is we have got an electrical octopus just down there to put in. Demo's proper put my mind at ease now is spread all the great big box of wiring out, pushed it into place, and it's not bad once it's actually pushed where it should be. Just trying to figure out little bits and pieces, so obviously we'll have like washer jets, heater box, bits and pieces like that that's here, and then that runs all the way out, so then you've got your wing wiring, like your indicators, things like that. So that's not terrible. What else have we got? Yeah, so you've got bits for like your heater plugs, or your main bit that attaches to your starter motor, which gives you your main live up to your wiring loom, and then from your starter motor back to your battery box. Then inside we've got the much newer fuse board, as you can see, far better condition than the ratty old glass one that was all corroded, knackered, and even now it looks better than how I found it, because to try and save it to get me a few more months into spring, I'd cleaned it all up and wire brushed it, so when I show you that, you'll see it's still shocking, so you can imagine how bad that was. So we've got all new wiper motor, we've got the little pivot points and everything, they're all new, because it was horrific for when you put the wipers on them just doing their own thing. They weren't together at all, and the motor was making a horrific noise as well. Where are we? It's just on now, making sure all the little pieces are correct where they go to, just plugging things in. If everything's plugged in, then the two or three things that don't match up, there's less options to go at, that, you know, it's easier to fault find then, isn't it? And then from there, to make it look less drastic, again, once this is done, we'll put the floor plans in. Gonna have to make something new for this tunnel, because as you can imagine, this isn't the correct gearbox or anything like that, so we're gonna have to figure out the high-low lever, and we're gonna have to figure out where we're gonna put the auto shifter again. Bad, darn it.
But not best.
See, and this is why we spoiled, isn't it? She's brought dinner and everything.
Don't record it, because that's proof, and if you get food poisoning, I'll deny it.
1 foot back at alternator, where that big brown lead is, and 1 foot starter.
Little big ground lady. Oh, what, this one?
Yeah. It wants to go from there.
So it's coming towards the back end of the die, and the wiring loom, this is the bit I was most worried about, isn't actually that bad. So at the minute, you have to bear in mind all this stuff needs all the protective shrouds putting around it, but at the minute it's just stripping parts off, connecting sensors, all the little odds and sods, I've actually got more lights now than I had on my old one, haven't I? Which is amazing, because I've got heater plugs, even though I've not had heater plugs in the last two Land Rovers. Because TDIs, they'll crank over at -7, -8 and still start fine, I've found. Mine have anyway. Where are we? So yeah, odds and sods, they're all getting connected up now. The dash and everything, I don't know what you can see here, looks horrific, but it's not bad. We've got the fuse box here, that'll cover all that up when it's back up again. All the dash and everything is about there, there's just a few little bits and pieces to connect up there, and that's where we're at so far. So what we'll do, I'll finish this little bit off, call it a night, and bring you on the next bit. But so far all we've got to do is power steering pump, We've got to find out if there's a plate that goes on there or I've just got the total wrong one. There's the downpipe on the exhaust, so we can connect the sports exhaust up that I had fitted last year. There is the airbox pipe, airbox, and then to the snorkel. There is, we need a banjo bolt and everything to get the oil feed on the turbo. That's about it, I think, on the engine. Obviously, fan belt, but that's it. Then we'll get all the water, all the radiator, intercooler, all that stuff back on, and then wings back on, and then we're about there on that bit. And then obviously on the inside there'll be dashboard back together. Excuse me. There'll be a little bits that we're going to have to chop and change, like on the gearbox tunnel. That's going to have to be altered, but I can't see, out of all the dramas, I can't see that being a big one compared to this. So yeah, I've done it all by myself, haven't I, Mark?
Yes, you have done it all by yourself.
Every bit of it.
No help at all, Richard.
None. I've got terrible friends and they don't help me with a thing.
Here we go.
That's always a good sign. So we're just trying to figure this out, answers on a postcard. We're about tuning on the last video. Where it says TDI here, we can't decide if we paint all three of these red, if it's 130 brake or 150 brake. So let us know if 130 is just paint these two, or if we paint all three. Thank you. Right, a bit of a slow one this weekend. I had Sunday morning with my daughter, took her to the park and that, so a little bit less done this weekend. Just to give you an idea of what's going on. So, I've had a full timing belt kit, everything like that, that's all new. We've got new pulley tensioners, we've got new water pumps, new steering box, new bottles, new pipes. There's going to be all new water pipes, all new intercooler pipes. Pretty much anything that can replace now is getting replaced now. If it hasn't been replaced by me already in the 6 years that I've had it, I'm trying to replace it, if that makes sense. With any luck, next weekend, I think we'll be getting some Dirt Monkey off-road turrets. I'm now brand ambassador for them. So with any luck, they'll get changed next weekend. Possibly some springs, don't know, depends how much they're going to come in at, because they've sagged really, really badly. And then we're going to get measured up for sliders, protection, which is also going to be the step on the other side. That's where we're at so far. So what I'm going to do, just cleaning this up now. As you can see here, I've got the map of Africa behind and the case in there, so I'll put that back on, so no crap gets in there or I'll lose the bolts because I'm an idiot. And then going to get back. I've just lost my rag with the back prop shaft because I'm struggling to get that on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on with the gearbox oil cooler. So the pipes are broken on this one as it got lifted into the van, as you can see just there. So what we'll do, we'll grab this off the other gearbox and put that on. Eventually what I'd like to do is I'm going to get up to the hose place and I'll get him to make me some braided hoses that come all the way forward. I'm going to get one of them Gucci kind of, instead of a long thin one, I'll just get a square oil cooler radiator, get one of them mounted in the front, and it's just new, proper, modern, easier to fix. I don't know, it just seems a little bit better. But at the minute, it's getting to the point where the pot's getting a little bit empty because this is coming out the lorry fund. So I'm trying to rein it back a bit and just get what's essential, but it's one of them things, isn't it? It is what it is. Right, so we're just putting this back on now. If, like me, you know mechanic, anything like that, and you can't just give a stern look at a bolt and know exactly what it is and what size and all the rest of it is, you've got to do something like this, where, I don't know if you can see this, you draw out the piece, and wherever the bolts are, you stick them in the cardboard. So you get that one, you put it in the same place on here. That way, you don't jumble them up, because they're different lengths for different fittings, different sizes, all the rest of it. So you can see here, we're going for the top left. He gets the top left out the cardboard.
That's got a bracket on.
Put them all in finger tight, and then we'll torque them all down, because we've put the gasket in, but we've also put a little bit of sealing as well.
That's that one in.
You see what he's doing? He's picking different spots. That way, as we put it on, we're catching the gasket behind and it all goes on nicely so we don't end up with a bit just hanging out all over the place. Right, so this is your gearbox oil cooler, so that's just waiting now. That goes forward and then the radiator goes on behind it. I don't know if it does masses, but it came on the Discovery, so we fitted that. What I had to do, if anyone ever wants to auto a Defender, all the pipe work and everything fits, but it's too long. So what you have to do is, there's a straight section about halfway. You cut about 4 inches of it out and then just join it back together again with these universal joint things. Okay. And like I say, eventually I want to get that remade up, because these go on here. And I want the braided hoses all the way to the front with the drift car cooler. The other thing that we've done tonight that you can't really see, let's get some light on the matter, is, can you see the high-low selector? So I've just bolted that down. Run out of time tonight, but what I'll do tomorrow is, there's 2 bits you have to hook on. One for the high ratio, low ratio, and another one for the diff lock. So we'll just connect them up. It's not difficult at all. And then that's in here done. The one bit remaining will be, see just here, that'll be for the auto box for the selector. So we just need to make sure that that's in park, make sure the cable's in park, connect the two together, and then just make sure it moves freely between all the gears. And then what we can do, we can put the floor plates back on, put the tunnel back on, and then instead of the original tunnel that I had on, we're going to mark up to see where this fuse board is, and look at building a new platform across here that I can put the selector on. I'm tempted to lift it back up again. If anyone saw the older videos with my 110 soft top, I had the gear selector on an up mount, and it was like on the newer Wimics, where you've got it in park at the top and you pull it down into gear rather than back. It's not for everybody, but it's just for ease of driving, isn't it? So that's where we're at. Little bits on here, mainly just tidy the wiring up a little bit and put all the dashboard panels on, and then that's in here. It looks horrific at the minute, but what you got to bear in mind, a lot of these panels, there's just a couple of, there are a few screws and that floor's back in. It's just 2 plates. They're that crude. It's like 3mm of alley that's this floor. That's why the cabs of these are so noisy. I'm really tempted, let us know if anyone's got any experience with the Dynamat. I'm tempted to Dynamat all the footwells, the tunnel, everything like that, the seat box, because originally on this seat box I had the you know, the foam out the back of a snatch that you rest your back on. I had that on, which cut the noise down no end, but it's got tatty over the years, so I need a new seat cover. So I'm tempted to Dynamat all that and then get something made up, because I don't think you can buy an off-the-shelf one for these if I'm messing about with this tunnel. And yeah, it's not too bad. It looks, it's still looking mega drastic, but all in all, the list isn't horrific. What are you doing to my shaft?
It's alright, it's free now.
What are you doing, Steb, bro?
That's unseized itself now.
So, this is the list so far. I mean, we've got, 1 second. So we've got prop shafts to do. We've done the gear cooler oil pipes. Gear selector, that's half on now. We've got the high-low selector, that's half on now. The floor panels, like I say, it's half a dozen screws. Gear tunnel, we'll put the original one back on and then build a custom one over it. The reason we have both is because there's a lot of soundproofing on the original one that's all hacked up to get all the gear through. And it's basically just more protection for water coming up on water crossings and things. Dashboard, that is an absolute ball bag of a job, because there's 1,000 brackets, screws, things like that. We've got a little bit of wiring to finish. Damo, that is your thing. Insulation and tidy the wiring. So where all the wirings run round, you can see here, what we'll do is fit the flexible Copex that goes over the top of it all, just to, 1, keep the water out of it, and 2, it's a bit more heat proof, less chance of getting it ragged, it's just proper. What else are we at? Handbrake, pretty self-explanatory, just connect that up because the gearbox is in now. Radiator and coolant pipes, airbox and pipe work. So we've got it'd be nice to get the pipe that comes round the back here into the airbox here. That'd be lovely if we can get a 300 TDI Defender one, but I've got a feeling that that's going to be mega money. So I think we're going to repurpose my 200 TDI airbox here, pipe round to that, into there, and then it comes down, round, and out of the wing here and up the snorkel. So then we've got heater core. I'm not happy with the heater core that's in this second-hand heater box that I've got, so we're going to change that out. The drop arm. We've got the new drop arm, but the thread on the end of it was bust as we've been manually round, so we just need to just file that, get that proper, and attach that. Brakes and pads, because obviously the professionals can't do that right, so we'll have to do that. Brake bias valve, that's a 2-second job. Then we get to the good bits. So then we can get the wings on, and we can wire all the lights up, the horn and the washer, because they all run around that way. We've got the bonnet and the radiator surround. Again, that's just panel work, so that's bolt on. That's nice. These are the bits where you get the most satisfaction because there's big bits going on. We've got the bumper to go back on. I'm 50-50 whether I take the winch off that and give it a paint, because there's a couple of bits where I've just whacked it, touched it, things like that, and there's a bit of rust coming through, so like now's the time, isn't it? Rewire the winch, because I took all the wiring out for that again, so self-explanatory. We'll just run the cable from the front round, isolator switch, all that jazz. The spotlights, I've got DRLs on there, so they need wiring to the side lights, and then as well on this one, what I want to do is wire the main beam up to all the spotlights, but you can't have that on all the time, so it needs to go through a switch. So when I flash, the switch will always be on, but I can switch it off. It's a bit backwards, but it's better that way, I think. Crank pulley tie. I've already done that one. Look at that bit of satisfaction. Then yeah, that's pretty much running, driving, unless we find other things, which we will. There's 7 of them, because we went to put the props back on and Mick found loads of issues, didn't you, Mick?
Yeah, with that.
So
UJ's gone.
yeah, I've got a UJ gone in the rear, so it'll be all cleaned up, all painted. We'll put a new UJ in it. Luckily, I always carry UJs and bearings in my little vehicle first aid kits. We've got them already. We'll go through that one. He's just re-greasing everything for me before it goes back on. So that's them ones. Then from there, we've got paint the roof, self-explanatory. Got a bit of a gap in the roof somewhere, a bit of water coming in, so we'll get that done, get it all freshened up, because it lets the side down a bit. We need to get new remote central locking in. That's just done off it's part of the alarm system. We've got electric windows. I did fit a universal kit off of eBay, and it lasted about 57 seconds before it imploded. So I've been and bought a proper kit with all the proper switches and everything like that, because when you're doing the YouTube and bits, it's very handy just to be able to drop a window and talk to someone. Need to sort the shower out, because I've moved all the water system in the back, so that needs to the pump wired back up and the gas plumbed back up, and then the shower will be working again. And as I did all these spotlights on the rear, either side, the front, they're all off now, so they need rewiring back up again. But these are the non-essentials, these are the very important. So that's where we're at now. Each one of them ones, I think loads of people are enjoying these videos, but there's not a great deal I can film without either putting a camera on the side on time lapse for hours and hours and hours, or just getting no work done because I'm constantly filming it. And it's one of them ones where I'm trying to absorb as much information as I can, because there's people here that know what they're doing, so I'm learning as I go, and this is really, really good to see it all going together. And once again, a massive thanks to the lads for coming and giving me a hand, because this wouldn't be getting done without them. Get him working away. So yeah, he's a star. And you make.
Oh yeah. Sound.
So, no, it's much appreciated. And again, I just want to say a big thank you. I've looked at the analytics and you're actually watching more of the video without skipping through it, which is absolutely awesome because it then pushes the videos up. You can see from the views of the last few, because you're watching more of it, it then promotes it more, so I'm getting more views. So thank you very much. If you can give us a like, give us a comment, put the videos on autoplay. Lee Mucklewright's the best one for this one. He puts my videos on autoplay for the dog when I go out. I think that's why the dog's always hounding me. So yeah, it gets the watch time up, and that's what it's all about these days. I'll take it on board about what everybody was saying as well about me filming a video on how I film videos, a few of the little bits and pieces. Again, I'm not an expert, there's people that make better videos than me. However, I do cringe a bit with some of the newer YouTubers that doing exactly what I did when I was new to YouTube. So if you can pick a few bits up from me that I've done wrong, then you're kind of on a winner, aren't you? You're going to skip a couple of years of not getting the views and progress faster, or not give up because you're not getting the views. So that's where we're at. See you on the next one. Thank you.